no way out.
What in the heck happened?
So the plot of this episode was actually something that I struggled with. I was having a hard time. That line about being pulled in the romance zone,
Right,
that's an
right.
Ori Wallington line. I give her credit for that because that's an observed thing about what it's like to deal with a suitor that you don't want. But I was having a hard time with this plot because my version of Mabel in my head was somebody who was very confident.
Yeah.
And the idea that she would have a hard time telling somebody no was something that we invented to come up with a plot. Like, we
Sure.
needed a story, and so we said, well, maybe that's her problem. And for a while, I was having a hard time believing it. And I have to give Dan McGrath, who's one of our writers, credit for coming up with this idea that, well, what if she gets Dipper to break up for her? And I was like, okay. It's not that she's a coward. It's just she really wants people to like her. And it hurts her to be mean.
Yeah.
So it's and once we kind of came up with that, I added a few little details. Like Sweater Town was something I added to the script late where I'm
Right.
like, is there a Mabel-y way
Yeah.
of having a hard time saying no to somebody? So it's she's still herself. Matt Brawley storyboarded this scene, and all this acting on Dipper's hands, like, haha, she's kind of weirded out by you. No offense, that little arm.
Yeah.
This was one of Matt's first scenes ever,
Yeah.
and I remember seeing that. I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
it really
you've never
captures-
boarded professionally before. This is perfect
Yeah.
character
Well,
acting.
yeah. Also, it's very particular to Dipper, and
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
encapsulates who he is. The other thing about this whole thing and why Mabel finds herself in a quandary, which I always bought, was that she actually likes little Gideon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
She
fun.
actually, he's fun.
He's
She-
a fun guy.
Yeah, I mean, and she expresses that early in the episode, and that's one of the reasons why I buy she's having a hard time.
100%. Well, I recently rewatched this episode, and like, I really do think it works. But it took some work getting there.
Oh,
where
yeah.
It was like,
Yeah.
it's not just that because she's not unconfident.
Yeah.
But she wants to be loved, and she has a big heart.
Well, you run across this problem in any show where the most confident character, the character that seems to know who they are and has no problem living in the world as they are, regardless of what the world thinks
Now
of
you
them.
got to give them a conflict.
Yeah, it's really hard for those to build
Arc
stories
them.
around those characters when all of a sudden they lose that. Like,
Yeah.
why? Why did they lose it? Why did they lose the confidence that just seems to be such a part of their personality?
You need an in-character way to do it. I've talked in other episodes about end act images. We try to start and end any act when we can with something that tells you the whole story, particularly if you can cut on something that in one image tells you what's going to happen next.
Yeah.